Partners in both life and the pursuit for racial, social, and economic justice in the U.S. South, John and Carol Prejean Zippert continue to embody the principles and the priorities of the two movements that shaped their lives, the Civil Rights Movement and the Cooperative Movement. Born in New York City in 1945, John was an only child who spent summers on a chicken farm in New Jersey. Carol was born in 1943 and grew up alongside two brothers and four sisters in Lafayette, Louisiana. Both showed early signs of a lifetime dedicated to activism. John was active in student government and civic affairs, and Carol belonged to church youth groups and volunteered at an adult literacy center. In the summer of 1965, John volunteered with the Congress of Racial Equality in Louisiana, where he worked to register minority voters and integrate public accommodations following the passage of the Voting Rights Act. John was sent to St. Landry Parish, home to the state's largest population of African American farmers and sharecroppers. There, his efforts to help sweet potato and okra farmers market their produce evolved into the Grand Marais Vegetable Producers Cooperative, one of the 22 cooperatives that founded the Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund in 1967. During this time, he also earned his bachelor's degree in history from the City College of New York. Meanwhile, Carol and her brothers joined community members to help establish the Southern Consumers Cooperative, a community-owned investment, education, and job-creating organization where she had earned a coveted spot in Louisiana to study cooperatives for 3 consecutive summers. John and Carol met while organizing cooperatives and married in 1967 after winning a milestone lawsuit to end restrictions on interracial marriage in Louisiana. The same year they were married, the Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund was chartered. In August, the Federation will mark its 50th anniversary. From the 1960s onward, John and Carol's lives progressed closely in line with the mission of the Federation and the growth of the cooperative movement in the South. Father A.J. McKnight, himself a Cooperative Hall of Famer, deeply involved in the community and cooperative development across Louisiana, first kindled the couple's passion and commitment to the cooperative movement. He also officiated their wedding. During their long careers, John and Carol have worked with Ralph Page, G.L. Twitty, Woodrow Keown, Ernest Johnson, Melba Smith, Jessica Gordon Nembard, and many other co-op heroes. For 45 years, John has served as the Director of Program Operations for the Federation at its Rural Training and Research Center in Epes, Alabama, where he promotes cooperative economic development for low-income and minority people in 10 southeastern states. In the wake of Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, John expanded the center's reach to include relief work, enlisting cooperatives to help individuals, families, and other co-ops recover and rebuild along the Gulf Coast. During his career at the Federation, John has trained staff, mentored countless young people, and designed programs to further sustainable small farming and cooperative development. The Federation honored John's dedication with its Staff Award in 1977, 1978, and 1996. John is a champion of cooperative development, a co-op policy analyst, and a cooperative historian currently writing a book about the Federation. He played a critical role in the Southern Grassroots Economics Project, which works to build democratic ownership in the U.S. South and host Co-op Econ, an annual training institute for cooperative members. His career highlights also include contributions to housing co-ops and affordable housing for low-income people in Alabama. As a member of the Southern Cooperative Development Program staff, he helped former tenant farmers form the Panola Land Buyers Association and buy 1,164 acres of land in 1970. In 1980, the association established a housing cooperative. This land became the site of the Federation's Rural Training and Research Center in Sumter County near Epes, Alabama. In 1971, John, Carol, and their 2 young children moved to Epes. Together, with a dozen other Federation staff, they helped build and develop the center. The couple welcomed their 3rd child while living in Alabama. After 5 years at the Federation's center, the family moved to the adjoining county of Greene, where Carol had begun working at a branch of the historic Miles College of Birmingham. Since 1985, John and Carol have together published the Greene County Democrat newspaper, a weekly publication to inform and educate their primarily African American community. In 1985, Carol earned her PhD in Educational Leadership, Supervision, and Curriculum Development from the University of Alabama, Tuscaloosa. As a self-described community worker, she dedicated 5 decades to building leadership and developing co-ops with the Federation, where she continues to volunteer, as well as supporting grassroots community groups in their work to achieve social transformation. Carol has served as an adjunct research professor and resource specialist for Tuskegee University's community-based youth partnerships. She has been involved with the 21st Century Youth Leadership Movement since its inception in 1986 and continues to serve on its board. Carol is also president and founder of the Federation of Greene County Employees Federal Credit Union. Under her leadership, one of the poorest counties in America built a credit union that has accumulated more than $1.4 million in assets. In addition, Carol's poetry and cultural organizations such as the Society for Folk Arts and Culture and the Black Belt Community Foundation strengthen connections and trust among people, their co-ops, and their communities. Known as the poet of the Southern Cooperatives movement, Carol's first book of poetry, I Don't Want to Be Rich, Just Able, was published in 1997. Her second book, Meeting Myself Round the Corner, was published in 2005. She writes a poem each week in the Greene County Democrat. With a legacy that already includes 5 decades of advocacy and activism, John and Carol continue to play an indispensable role in Southern cooperative development. The couple fills their free time with reading, writing, political action, mentorship, and plenty of family time. Their children, Rachel, Alexandra, and Simon, have each embraced their parents' passion for education and community impact. All were valedictorians of their classes and now work as a pediatrician, chemical engineer, and mechanical engineer, respectively. The Zipperts' 11 grandchildren range in age from 5 to 25. The eldest 2 are currently pursuing careers in medicine. Because their lives reflect cooperative principles and values, because of their heroic, unyielding work in the development of underserved communities, and because it is impossible to imagine the Southern cooperative movement without their contributions, tonight, we are privileged to welcome John and Carol Zippert into the Cooperative Hall of Fame.